To the Zion Room. We'll get going here momentarily. If you want to sit down, please find a seat, and we'll get going here in a moment. Good afternoon, everyone. It's great to see so many of you out here today. My name is Steve Johnson. I'm the Associate Athletic Director for Media Relations here for Dixie State University Athletics. And we welcome you to the Zion Room today. On this special day, as we begin a new era of Trailblazer Athletics. And at this time, it's my honor and pleasure to introduce the 18th President of Dixie State University, Dr. Richard B. Williams, who will make the official announcement.
Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Dixie State University on this beautiful spring day. We're really excited to be here. When I left Indiana State, I asked the president there for a little advice, and he says, the one thing I can teach you is that, if you want to keep a secret, a true secret, has to be between two people, and one of those people need to be dead. So I hope that this is not anticlimactic, but we're really excited for you to be here. We're excited that you are here to celebrate part of our history of our institution and definitely a part of history of intercollegiate athletics at Dixie State University. If you look around our campus, especially in intercollegiate athletics and our campus as a whole and our community, they're just great progress, and you can see the momentum. In fact, I think if you would look up in the Webster Dictionary under momentum, you might see a picture of our campus. If you look around in intercollegiate athletics, you're seeing buildings built. We dedicated our sports medicine center. We've built new tennis courts. We've built the swimming complex and the human performance center. Greater Zion Stadium has had a total remake from the football field to the track to the East Grandstand, now the West Grandstand, to facility improvements that we've had with the North Burns and having our athletic offices, to campus housing, to academic facilities. You've seen record enrollment. You've seen record grade point averages, especially in intercollegiate athletics. You've seen over 100 academic programs being added in a short amount of time. You've seen record donations to intercollegiate athletics and to the university. You've seen record attendance, especially this year. Our community has come out to support our student athletes and all of you. And we've seen addition to our staff resources in intercollegiate athletics. And our notoriety, I don't think, has been ever better. It's a wonderful time to be a Trailblazer. Through this search to identify our Executive Director of Intercollegiate Athletics, I realized from all the candidates that everyone's recognizing the momentum that we have here in Southern Utah and on our campus. Our momentum was recognized by each of the candidates, and one thing that I learned is everyone wants to be here. And so that's exciting. Our committee, composed of professionals from all across campus and the athletics department, including 2 student athletes, conducted a national and a very thorough search and vetted the top candidates to come to campus. When they came to campus, they met with the president's cabinet, with our coaches, with our student athletes, with the athletics department staff, our institutional athletic advisory committee, and our Trailblazer Club. From these interviews, it was clear to me that the obvious choice rose right to the top. So now it's my pleasure to announce that the next Executive Director of Intercollegiate Athletics at Dixie State University, soon to be Utah Tech University, is Mr. Ken Beazer. Before he comes up, I just want to share a few introductory comments with you and introduce Ken, although we all pretty much know him. I didn't want to do that before because you all know who it was going to be. And so I just want to share with you just a few brief comments before we invite him to come up and say a few words. As you know, Ken was named our interim executive director of intercollegiate athletics on January 14th and has just done a wonderful and tremendous job. With today's announcement, he is just the third athletics director in our NC2A Division I era. We had Dexter Irvin from 2006 to 2010 and Dr. Jason Booth from 2010 to 2022. Ken has served as the Executive Director of Development in DSU's Advancement Office since 2015. And many of you know all his work. He's a prolific fundraiser, but more importantly, he's a relationship builder. I can't tell you how many times I was at Walmart or Target and somebody would come up and say, "Don't be an idiot, hire Ken." I get that a lot lately. But prior to his time at DSU, Ken was the director of intercollegiate athletics at Southern Utah from 2006 to 2015. He has many accomplishments there. He led the university's big move to the Big Sky Conference in 2012. He saw the addition of 3 sports, women's golf, women's volleyball, and men's tennis. He saw SUU football make its first ever NC2A Division I FCS playoff appearance in 2013. In 2013 and 14, SUU's women's basketball won the Big Sky Championship. He also served as the FCS Athletic Directors Association president from 2014 and 15. And with those comments about SUU, that's probably the last time you'll ever hear any accolades about SUU athletics for me, as they are an extreme rival. So prior to SUU, he served as Director of Athletic Development at Utah State University. He developed and initiated, at the time, the largest capital campaign in the history of USU athletics, which included the fundraising for a $25 million renovation, which is now the Maverick Stadium. He started his athletic administrative career as athletic director at Snow College, where he was the athletic director for 6 years from 1995 to 2001. Before becoming the athletic director, he was the Badgers defensive coordinator from 93 to 95. While at Snow, he implemented the college's first athletic foundation board and the first annual giving program. Ken graduated from Weber State University with a degree in communication broadcasting in 1989 and a master's degree in communication at Washington State in 1991. Ken and his wife, Sydney, who's here today, we'd like to recognize you, are the parents of 4 children, Rhett, Adrian, Jaden, and Harrison, and 2 grandchildren. I have known Ken for the past 7 years and have been able to observe him personally and professionally. He's definitely a man of great vision. He has a lot of passion. He has competitiveness, and I don't really know anyone that has more integrity than Ken Beazer. He's a builder. He has great experience. He has great drive, and a drive that if he doesn't know something, he goes out and finds out. That is exactly what Trailblazer Athletics needs at this time. It brings me great pride to welcome Mr. Ken Beazer as the next Executive Director of Intercollegiate Athletics.
Yeah, I'm a little worried up here because we've got these cameras, and I cut myself shaving this morning, and so my wife is supposed to give me a little cue if I need to dab it a little bit. But anyway, I appreciate that. Obviously, you did not run into my wife at Walmart because she definitely wouldn't have said that about me. In fact, she leaned over to me while you're reading that stuff, and she goes, "Seriously? Did you pay him to write that?" So thank you for that. I'm extremely thrilled. This is a real fun moment for me to be appointed this position. I thank President Williams and all the committees. It seemed like there was about 15 that I met with last, wasn't that many, but it seemed like it last Friday, and it was really fun. It was really fun to just interact and to talk about the future of Dixie State athletics, and I'm just so thrilled to have this opportunity right now. And before I go on, I think I need to just give credit where credit's due with Dr. Jason Booth. I think history is going to smile favorably upon Dr. Booth's tenure here. You look at what's happened in the past few years since he's been in charge here, and the move all the way from where it was at when he took over to Division I. And that's a tough move, and he got that going, and I want to acknowledge him for what he did. And it's truly an honor for me to move forward and to build upon that, and I am so excited to work with a lot of the people I see here as we go forward. Student athletes, let me jump on this train and see what we can do. To you coaches, let's lock our arms together and go forward. This is a team thing, and a team to me has never been a group of people that work together. To me, it's a group of people that trust each other, and I hope, and I truly hope, if you don't already know my belief in each one of you, that you'll find that out real quickly here over the next few days with that. I know the main part of this is to ask questions, and I hope you have a lot of questions, because it's hard. I didn't bring my running shoes, but I will go get a new pair of shoes to keep up with President Williams as his vision keeps going. But literally, it was when I was up at SUU, and my wife and I were contemplating a move, and we actually had some feelers out, and we thought we were going to be heading back east. I mean, that's where all the direction was headed, and it looked like we were going to be heading back to West Virginia. I got a call from President Williams, and he said, "Don't hang up until you hear me out." And I was actually out in the driveway at that point. And you have to understand, I grew up in Ephraim. I played football at Snow College. I coached at Snow College. I was the athletic director at Snow College. And when you're at Snow College, you hate Ricks and Dixie. And then, you compound that with, I was the athletic director at SUU for almost 10 years. And of course, when you're in Cedar and SUU, you hate Dixie. So it was really no intention of coming to St. George, let alone working at Dixie. But within 15 minutes, when he told me his vision for the university, I walked into the house and I said, "I know you're not going to believe this, but we need to look at this." And it was one of those moments we both looked at each other and thought we were crazy, but here we are. And I'm thrilled. Seriously, the future of this in place is, I hate to use this term, but it's intoxicating. And I'm just happy to be part of it. And I look here at Stan Plew, and as I talked with Doug Allred yesterday, the weight of the traditions of this university and the good people been through this university is felt. And to insert myself now in that timeline of the Pat Ropers, the Sark Arslanians, the Greg Croshaws, and we could go on, as I mentioned Stan and Doug Allred. I take a great deal of pride in that, and I hope to turn the reins over whenever it is to the next person, and having fulfilled my stewardship at the tenure that we're about to embark upon. So thank you. I am going to pay for this dearly, I know after this, but my wife Sydney, when Biff gave the call to me and he said, "Are you ready to get back in athletics?" Asked me if I'd be willing to serve as the interim. I said, "Let me talk to my wife about it," because this is truly a team thing. And it's tough on the spouses and tough on the families as your kids go to school and not everybody sitting next to them loves your dad. And it's tough on them. But I asked her about it, and her comments were initially was, "I'm not ready to be a widow again." And so we thought about that and talked about that, and a couple days later, I think we're both in agreement. I say I think we're both in agreement that this is what we want to do. We think we can help, and so I called Biff and I said, "I'm going to throw my hat in the ring. We will no longer talk about the search process or this job until." There were some awkward times. I mean, as we're talking, and I wanted to ask him some questions and I couldn't, but there were some awkward times. But this is a team effort, and thank you. We'll go with that. So I don't know, Steve, if we want to come over here and your name is up here too, because you may get a couple questions, I'm not sure, but, so anyway, thank you.
Thank you, Ken. Congratulations. We do have a microphone here. We have members of the media here as well. And so we will have them start with some questions to ask, and then when they're done, if there are any questions from anyone else that is in attendance, we may ask that. We'll go for about 15 or 20 minutes, and we'll just go ahead and start with the questions now.
All right, I think we're good.
Eric.
Where are we? Raise your hand. Right here.
And then for the media people, please identify yourself and who you're with, please.
Hello and congratulations. I'm Eric Gould from the St. George News. I just wanted to ask, it's fun to joke about the rivalry, but what were the experiences that you learned at SUU that you can apply here?
My first experience at SUU, press conference similar to this. We flew in, they announced us, and the first question was from the media, Steve Kiggins, who was at the Spectrum and the Daily News at the time. First question, he said, your predecessor refused to play Dixie. What is your philosophy moving forward about playing Dixie? And really not knowing at that time the rivalry, or I should say animosity at that time, I said, I have no problem playing Dixie College as long as it benefits our programs. Why would I not get in a bus and drive down to St. George or have them come up and play us in a game that has some regional significance? I thought that was a good answer. The next morning, I went back to Logan. We were living in Logan, and I was in my office at Utah State. And I get a call from the mayor. I won't mention his name. I get a call from the mayor of Cedar City. Some of you know him. He said, Mr. Beazer, congratulations on your new appointment. He said, but I tell you, if you play Dixie College in anything, your tenure will be short. And so that was my first experience with it. So what I learned from that, it's serious. And I still have some friends that they were all right with me leaving SUU, but when they found out I was coming to Dixie, no, it's okay. You just want to get rid of that microphone.
Well, no, it keeps cutting out.
So, it's serious, and so that's what I learned from up there is how serious they like to take it. But there are a lot of things. It's a Division I program. We were really trying to get into the Big Sky Conference at the time. The Big Sky had turned down the university for almost 20 years. We were developing programs. The football program was working its way to 0-18 streak at that time, 18 straight losses. And there was a lot of talk in the community about dropping football and let's just take the money and put it in something else we can be successful. They said we would never be successful in football there. We just didn't have the resources. And I think we proved them wrong in a big way. And I can take that. In other words, if you can, I mean, it's cliche, but if you can really dream it, I mean, if you can visualize it, it can be done. And that's what I love about here is the ceiling is so high here right now. And anyway, I have a question on that, but seriously, we can get a lot done here, and I think we proved that at SUU at the time, that we did some things that people didn't think we could do.
Mark Musgrave with Fox Sports Southern Utah. So I love what's going on here at the campus, the improvements at the baseball field, what we're seeing at the football stadium. What are some of the other venues that might be in for a change that we can look forward to here at Dixie State?
All of them. Literally, in the past 2.5 months, I've evaluated every facility we have, every playing and practice venue that we have here. Now, there's a hierarchy right now based upon what I think is going to help us broad-based right now rather than just sports-specific that we're going to be doing here in the next few months. But every facility here needs an upgrade. Now, football is getting it, and swimming has an ice. There's still some things in swimming that we need as well. even though I have this beautiful facility, there's some things that can be done there to enhance the program that, the Coach Kessler is building there. So, I mean, I get more specific. Tennis needs a clubhouse. I mean, when our girls are out there playing and they have to run across the street during a match over to Innovation Plaza to use the restroom, we got an issue. And so we're looking at that. Softball, we have got a great program in softball. And I'll put our program up against many that I've been involved with, but we just need to not tweak that facility. We need to overhaul that facility, because the facilities is the only thing right now that is holding that program back. And so we need to do that. Met this morning on an addition with our men's and women's golf program, what we can do to help those programs. And I know coaches, don't get nervous if I haven't mentioned your sport. Trust me, I understand, and we're working on it. We really want to be, the facilities is one area that we can, as an institution, be top of the league or close to the top. We may never get there financially and be the top spending institution in the conference, but we can get there facility-wise. And facilities, I mean, it's one-time money. And there are a lot of people here who have a lot of interest, that have a lot of ability to help us out.
Any other questions, or maybe want to ask the president or Ken anything? Stan, go ahead.
Before we leave, can we get a picture with all the coaches that are here?
Absolutely.
We got a question here.
Okay.
Okay, I'll be the devil's advocate here. So are there any concerns going into changing our facility over, the name from Dixie State to Utah Tech in the future, and how will you expand upon that to make this part of a real new team that's going to go forward in this D1 division?
I think we're kidding ourselves if we don't think there's going to be any residual with that. That's fully anticipated that we're going to have some residual effect with that. But as I've told people, I think athletics, of everything we do here as an institution, I think athletics is the common ground that we all can come together on. It's the one area to where if you were for the name change, opposed to the name change, or somewhere in the middle, that we can sit together side by side and cheer for a common cause. I'll also say that athletics, and I hope I don't offend some of my friends, the deans back here, I hope I don't offend people. I don't think there's anything we do as an institution that brings community, alumni, students, faculty, staff, everybody together for one cause at one moment like athletics. And so, yeah, there's going to be some residual. But we've already been making some strides. I've already been out working with people in the community. I just have to get those people to the point to where they can come to a game. And I think at that point we've won. I think everybody's won.
Okay, Mr. Osborne.
So I got a question. You talked to us on the Saturday about your the 3 T's, which you're trying to implement. Can you expand on that to everyone? Yeah. And those who
We're in a lot of the meetings last week, understand the 3 T's of my focus. I thought that Devin was going to again say I could have taken you. When Devin and I, so we all know Devin's a receiver here for us, all right? So Devin, when he found out I played college football, he said, "What position?" I said, "Corner." He went silent for about 5 seconds, and he goes, "I think I could take you." and my response to him was, "I like my chances." So anyway, all kidding aside, the 3 T's that we have to focus on, what we have to wake up every morning thinking about, and in order to go tassels, titles, and traditions. And everything else is built off of those 3 T's. Our funding, our allocation of our limited resources, and everything we do has to either push tassels, graduation, titles. If you're not in this game to win it, you shouldn't be here. And I hope that doesn't offend anybody, but we have got to be pushing for championships, for personal bests, and things of that nature. And then traditions, and I mentioned traditions in my opening remarks there, that you don't walk into, I saw, I don't know if he's still here, but you don't walk into the set building and have a line of previous deans or professors. But you can't open up a magazine or go on a website where you don't see succession of coaches, athletes, records, and everything. And we right now are stewards, student athletes and coaches, we are stewards of that tradition. And we are forever linked. You can go back to my records in college, and you can see right where I was at. I am forever linked and embedded in that history of that institution, and those are the traditions we talk about. So we got to push things to make it easier for our student athletes to graduate. Look, this isn't lip service. That's why they're here, all right? And then titles, okay? Listen, I'm not buying this. We're still transitioning now to Division II, all right? We're just transferring out of Division II, going Division I. We got to go right now. We got to push it right now. And then the traditions. We are stewards of the traditions here. And I hope that by the end of my tenure, hopefully it's longer than not, but hopefully people look back and they go, man, that was the golden era. That was the golden era. So tassels, titles, traditions, you're going to get sick of me saying that. How we're going to do that. So I still like my chances.
Congratulations. What would be your message to the community, not necessarily about the name change, but what you need for this university to be successful in athletics as well as academics?
Misnomer that Division I is all centered around the coaches and the student athletes. Division I is a culture, and that culture expands beyond what we do as an athletics department. It's out into the community. And I came up with that traditions portion of, I've been putting this out for a long time, my philosophy on athletics. And the traditions part came, ironically, when I started at SUU. Because people would ask me, what's the difference between Utah State University and SUU athletics? And it wasn't the level of competition, it was the lack of traditions. Utah State has such a rich history, I mean, from the Merlin Olsons, the Wayne Esseys and those. And I thought that we lost that a little bit, that, Southern Utah had not built those traditions out. And I think those traditions come a lot as well. So the community, I'm not going to walk out with my hand palm up, asking for money. But what I will ask is that you sell the brand. You sell our brand. And I'm not talking about the actual logo that you're wearing there, who we are and what we represent, and I hope you can be proud of it. And we're going to sell it, and I want you to sell it as well.
We want to hear from Mrs. Sydney Beazer, just your initial thoughts with challenges. I'm sure the opportunities will come. We know it's such a great sacrifice for you, but what are you feeling about all of this and the new changes with Ken?
We've had numerous visits about it. We have just entered a new phase of life with being empty nesters. My youngest is a student here at Dixie State. And ironically, the son just above him was a student here also. And I attended classes with him. And I still attend classes here at Dixie State. I'll never forget the first time they took roll. They were like, Sydney Beazer, and I was like, it's me. And then Jaden Beazer, and then he raises his hand and he looks at both of us who are on opposite sides of the room, and he goes, yeah, that's my mom. Yeah. So anyway, but now we are empty nesters, and it's been enjoyable to be have that time together. However, this time around, it will be different because I will be more available to be with him at his functions. Before, I was a mom of 4 children and very, very involved in their lives with their busy lives, and that's not the case anymore. I am a student and involved in lots of different things. But I love when he is passionate about what he does, and he is passionate about athletics, always has been. That's the way his brain works. And as a result, that has just bled into our families, and it's in our veins as well. So I think it will be exciting. I will have to tweak a few things in my life, and sometimes you have to even tweak your thinking process as the wife and the supporter, because not every decision he makes is going to be okay with everyone. and I need to be okay with people not okay with his decisions. So anyway, hope that answers your question.
So we're at another location, I won't say where it was at. And I had just been through a month of some really hard decisions that affected some families that lived close to us. And she came home from a function, and she said, you either have to stop doing this, or we're not going to have any friends. and so that's it's tough. It's tough on the families. It really is.
But it's good. It's not all tough. It's all good, too.
Time for a couple more questions. Help if I turn this on. Do we have time for a couple more questions, if any?
This is for you again, Sydney. Mark Musgrave, Foxport, Southern Utah. I'm going to put you on the spot, though. Okay? What's your favorite sport?
Okay, this is putting me on the spot, but there is a favorite, and it's because that's what I grew up with, and it's football. In fact, I will tell you a funny story. Hopefully this isn't saying too much, but
Whisper in my ear first.
yeah. So Saturday evening, one Saturday evening, I said, man, and we had been at my kids' games, at the university game, and it's Saturday night, and I said, I just wish there was a good game on tonight to watch. And Ken was like, I am the luckiest man in the world. But I do love football, but I love all the sports. We're just a sports family, so.
All right, with that, congratulations, Ken. Officially welcome. We're going to take the interim tag off, and thank you for joining us today. And let's go Trailblazers. Let's finish the rest of this year strong and get ready for 22-23. Thank you all for being here.
Invite the coaches out.
If we can have all the head coaches that are here to please come up, and we'll get a picture in front of the backdrop.